You got dumped and you wisely have gone no contact with your ex, but now you're wondering, how long is this gonna take? You're on pins and needles waiting to see if you hear from them while you're in no contact and you're resisting the urge to reach out. Don't do that. But how long is this gonna take? Let's talk about it. Of course, there are a number of things that can impact how long it takes for an ex to reach out once you go no contact. What's their attachment style? If they have an avoidant attachment style, it's going to take a lot longer than if they have an anxious attachment style or a secure one. But also, did they jump into a rebound relationship? That can also derail and delay the process as well. So there's a number of factors to think about. No contact, of course, is when you go radio silent after you got dumped. You don't initiate contact for any reason. No calls, no texts, no emails, no stalking them on social media, certainly no liking or commenting on their social media, and no looking at their Instagram or Facebook stories because they will see your name. No contact means no contact, but you do respond if they initiate contact with you. And going no contact serves two distinct purposes. One, it allows them time and space away from you to actually miss you. If you're constantly blowing up their phone and you're desperately begging for them to take you back, you're not giving them the opportunity to miss you. In fact, you are smothering them and probably driving them away. But the other benefit is that it benefits you. It gives you time and space to focus on yourself, to do some healing, to do some learning, some growing, to identify the things that you did in the relationship that might have been destructive so that you don't repeat those patterns if they come back or when you get into a new relationship. The initial reaction phase is the first couple of weeks after you initiate no contact. And honestly, in this time, your ex is probably relishing the time away from you, especially if you have an anxious attachment style and we're kind of smothering them a little bit, a little too needy, a little too clingy, a little too desperate. If that's how you were, they're really enjoying this time away from you. And that's okay. That's understandable. We need to let them have that time and space and move past this phase so that they can begin to miss you. And it's unlikely that they're going to reach out during this initial phase unless they have some codependent tendencies. Maybe they have a fear of abandonment and they hate being alone, that kind of scenario, and they haven't found somebody else new to jump into a relationship with or another ex to go back to. If that's the case, they might reach out, but it's still kind of unlikely this early in the game. The reflection phase is really around the 3 and 4 week mark. And at this point, your absence is definitely being noticed. It's definitely being felt, especially if prior to going no contact after the breakup, you were kind of needy and clingy and smothering and, oh my God, I can't live without you. Please take me back. If you were like that for a little bit before you went no contact, your absence is definitely being noticed by the 3 and 4 week mark. And it's because your behavior is so drastically different. They're wondering, well, why are they not reaching out? Why are they not calling? Why are they not texting? Have they found somebody new? Do they not love me anymore? But it's also going to get them wondering and self-reflecting on their role in the breakup. And that's a good thing because the more they realize that they contributed to the demise of the relationship, the more likely it is that they're going to reach out and want to reconnect and maybe try again. The realization and response phase is between the 1 and 2 month mark. And that is honestly the most common scenario for reconciliation after you've gone no contact with an ex who dumped you. And again, the exception is someone with the avoidant attachment style, which I mentioned earlier, and I've also covered in other videos. That can take much longer. This is honestly the phase where exes are going to decide, do I reach out to them? Do I want to test the waters? Do I want to talk to them about possibly trying again? Or am I really ready to move on? But I do want to point out that it's kind of unlikely that they're going to reach out and be really vulnerable and open and say, oh my God, I totally screwed up. I love you so much. Please take me back. Most people are not going to say that, even if that's what they're feeling and thinking, because they don't want to risk rejection. And they don't know for sure how you're going to respond because you've been totally radio silent, which is a good thing, but they don't know. You're unpredictable in their mind. So they're going to kind of test the waters gently and just send a text like, hey, or hey, what's up? Or, hey, you want to get together for coffee sometime, or something very genteel and very vague and non-committal. When they reach out like that, you should absolutely assume that they want to see you, and you should make a definite plan to get together with them in the evening so that it's clear that it's a date. Ideally, invite them over to your house to make dinner or something along those lines. Or, hey, do you want to stop by for a cocktail and we can talk, or something along those lines. Now, there are some key factors that will affect how quickly they reach out to you, or if they reach out to you. The depth of the emotional connection between the two of you is one. And if you just had kind of a casual relationship, or maybe it was just about the sex, or maybe it was kind of boring and you just had a lot of hobbies in common, but there wasn't really that spark of connection, that's less likely to bring about a reconciliation. Also, the length of the relationship. If it was kind of short-lived, didn't really have that much longevity, then they're less likely to be like, oh my God, I can't live without them, I've got to go back to them. They're just going to kind of keep moving on. And then lastly, what was it that brought about the end of the relationship, and how large in their mind is that issue? And more importantly, do they think that issue is still there, or do they think you or they or both of you have worked on it? Reconciliation after you've gone no contact takes somewhere between 30 and 45 days, about a maximum of 60, again, unless they have that avoidant attachment style. But that's the time frame that you can expect under most circumstances. But reconciliation only happens about 55% of the time. So while that is the majority, it's not a huge majority. So don't sit around just waiting for them to call or text, because it might not happen. You need to get on with your life. You need to be bettering yourself. You need to be meeting new people. And if they contact you and want to get back together again, great. But if they don't, no big deal. You've already moved on with your life. You're loving where your life is going. Where are you at in this journey? Let me know in the comments, but I'll see you in the next video.